Welcome to our QR video sequence. I am the owner here and one of the lead developers of this product. Hopefully we're going to teach you a little bit about building with a woody log building system. We appreciate you watching, and hopefully you're going to learn something about building your dream log cabin. Part of the Phase 2 program is what we call hinge effect or restraint. So this wall is not fastened, and what happens is where the gable intersects the log wall, we got what we call a hinge effect. Okay, in code, or most of the codes actually across the world, require us to restrain this. It's called a shear wall kind of a thing. So if I push on this wall, if you can see in the film, flexes back and forth real easily. The only way I can prevent that from doing that is put either a buttress wall or a cross wall that goes in here. Maybe this is a bedroom on the other end of this pony model. It's a bedroom, so we don't have this issue. Or there's a loft up there that takes care of this bounce. But I got a wide open window wall here. This model is being built to overlook a lake, overlook mountains, those kind of things. This particular one's overlooking a lake. So we got a big window wall. We don't have any cross walls in here. Now if you had a fireplace in here, that becomes what we call our buttress wall. So we have to, per code, design the building so that it withstands 20 pounds per square foot of wind force. To equate that, that's about 108 miles an hour of wind. We have to restrain that so these walls don't blow in. The way we do that is we put an LVL, okay, a laminated beam. These are very common. It's actually built up plywood that's all sandwiched together. And that gives us real good strength in the deflection, in other words, in this area. Most of the time, these are used vertically to support loads like that. We've engineered it to horizontally. So this will come as part of Phase 2, assuming you need it. Some buildings don't need it by virtue of other walls, a fireplace in here or something that becomes that buttress. So very simply, when you get to this point, the guys are going to lift this LVL into place. And as you can see, this wall flexes as they put it in. It's going to attach on either end to the vertical logs. Okay, now those vertical logs can't move because it's tied into a corner. So if I got a corner, that corner can't move because it's tied two ways. So the guys are going to screw it into the corner, and then they're going to screw it into each vertical log. Okay? We don't screw it into the window log. That's not necessary. So two 2 7/8 screws that come with it. Okay, so the guys have bolted or screwed this LVL, again, that's a hinge effect mitigation, against this wall. So you saw me bump it before. Now I can bump it. Doesn't move. Okay, so I've restrained this wall now to that 108 mile an hour, 110 mile an hour wind that we talked about. Again, that's called, you probably heard it called a shear wind, those kind of things. So when we get in windy areas, North Dakota, for instance, up in the mountains, up in Rockies, sometimes overseas in some of the buildings, this is something that code requires. So that's our LVL. Okay, now what do we do with that is you will have, more than likely, all kinds of scrap pine. Don't throw that away. Now you just cut those short, and we can face this on the bottom. This also becomes a great shelf for knickknacks. The other thing I always tease my customers about, you know what you could put up there? You could put a picture of me, the manufacturer of that. If you want there, you could put a picture of me up there. But basically, any kind of a knickknack becomes really a neat display area for any kind of artwork you might have or whatever. Now, while we're here, I do want to show you the gable end and how we wire for a ceiling fan. When we get the finished shots of this, you're going to see a ceiling fan coming down from the ridge area. If you look up here, this gable end is built so you have a wire chase that takes wires up to the top, and it'll go across and catch up with a board that we actually specially make for you to do a ceiling. The way we get wires there now, in the bedroom, we showed you, and hopefully you can see that, that to get wires there, we'll take the knick-knack down. This would be a wire that's coming across and going to a switch, okay? It's going in our closure board area, and it's going into this groove here that we've provided, we showed you in the bedroom area. That gets you across the gable into the closure board area. We got 2 wires going in there because we're going to run a light up there also. This just lays in the closure board area. Now we've closed that wire off and we've got it to come around the corner here. So they got that a little long, but that's how that'll look. We just drill it through the gable studs, we get to the center and go up. Sometimes you may want to put a light up on this gable like we did in the loft area. So this is how the electrician would wire that area. So that kind of completes this gable area. Now, we won't show you this, but this will get insulated in the phase 2 kit. And that's kind of what we've been talking about here. In the phase 2 kit, you will get insulation to insulate this cavity, an R13. Some folks want to put more insulation in there. It's very easy to do. Just fur out this stud 1.5 inches and you can get R19. Or if you want to have foam, the foam contractor, insulation contractor could foam this. But it's set up initially for an R13 that passes all codes for wall insulation. So, and then on top of this, we'll put our knotty pine that comes in our phase 2 kit, the knotty pine interior that you saw in the loft area. We'll show that in the finished shots of the building. But this is basically how you're set up. This is very important, and I wanted you to understand exactly what the hinge effect and why that's there. And we'll mark that on the plan. You may have to cut it to length. We do send it sometimes a little extra long. The guys had this cut to length, but that takes care of that. Sometimes a little decorative bracket here looks kind of neat, but nice shelf for displaying, again, pictures, artwork, ironwork, that kind of thing. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you've been entertained a little bit. Hopefully you've learned a little bit about the woody log building system. The reality is anybody can do it. We've given you a little bit of a helping hand through our QR series and our initiative. If you have any further questions, contact us at the information listed.